That's right. Got a
Well,
toilet.
that's too.
All right, we're called to order, so let's go to item number one, approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Two, approval of minutes from the September 21st, 2015 Traffic Commission meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Three, request by Alderman Tom Dewane to establish a two-way stop condition on Remington Road and Browning Road.
Alderman Tom Dewane and I had spoken today about this, and actually last week. He was expecting some of the requesters to come forward and be present at the meeting. I was informed today that they were not going to be able to make it, but that they wanted to be at the next meeting. As you know, some of these items, we're looking at items 3, 4, 5, and I believe 6 that are all related, that all of these, he was hoping to see a recommendation to staff, just referring these items to staff and then coming back with a report at the November meeting, and I'm fine with that,
Okay.
as long as the traffic commissioner is okay with that.
So 3, 4, 5,
What was that?
they're working outside there or something.
It just looked like, I think they just put down the back so they can take us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just dumped some stuff in one of the dumpsters.
Oh,
All right.
So 3, 4, 5, and 6, we want to entertain a motion to refer to staff.
I'll make a motion to refer 3 through 6 to staff for study.
second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 7, request by the traffic engineer to modify the parking restrictions on Adams Street between Main and Elm Street and on Elm Street east of Adams Street due to the completion of the KI Convention Center expansion.
Yeah, let me bring up a drawing here. I'll give you a visual on not only the new street,
3, 2, 6.
but the required or the parking conditions and zones that will accommodate the new roadway design. There we go. Okay, so basically north is to the right and Main Street runs, let's say, vertically on this display. So the KI, the old KI, I should say, oops. Only lines here, anyways. Do line change. There we go. So let me get to the legend here. Just to make sure that I got everything right as well. I believe the blue, yeah.
It was in the upper left, Dave.
Oh, was it in the upper left?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So there we go. The red, solid red is going to be a no parking anytime zone. So just think of like a no parking here at corner or whatnot. And then the dotted blue lines are going to be 15-minute loading, and then the solid is 30. So looking a little bit closer here at the map, this is the traffic signal here that leads right into the Main Street parking ramp. So both sides of the street will have no parking leading up to the signal right here. As you can see, this is where our lane line is, so we need to get this area here for a right turn lane, and this to accommodate the through and the left movement. And then next to the KI, this is underneath where the where the building goes over the roadway. This area right here is going to be the 15-minute loading area, and that's more or less designated for like vendors that come into the convention center. That was always an issue prior to the construction or the reconstruction. So this is an area that now is going to be designated for that, and then the solid white is just going to be for drop-offs and pickups in the bump-out area. And further to the north, we got the solid red again, meaning no parking. So this is really kind of around the corner and such. These other lines here, like we've got the solid white line right here, these indicate crosswalks and stop lines. All of those markings are already in place. So we've got really all the permanent markings in place, and then these parking zones just really need to get adopted by traffic commission and council so that they become enforceable. So that's really about it. It's pretty simple. They're open for business, as we all know, at this point in time, so just really looking for a motion to go ahead and approve what we see in the drawing here.
Mr. Chairman, I'd so move.
Motion been made,
I'll second.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 8, request by the traffic engineer to modify the parking restrictions on the city deck court due to the completion of city deck landing.
And this, again, is very similar to kind of what we're dealing with here, just a different development. I'll go ahead and bring up that item as well. This one actually is probably a little bit more simple. There's really only one loading zone that we're really looking for, and this is really to accommodate the businesses that have been around there and the special events that take place on the city deck court. So we've got a 30-minute loading here. So right to the, I guess this would, yeah, north is up on this map. So this is the new city deck landing apartments. And really what we need is to have no parking on the entire street. It is very narrow, so you really can't accommodate the parking. But in this area, you can see we actually will have 5 metered spots, and these are perpendicular stalls. They're not parallel, so it's something a little bit different than what we've seen, but this is all, everything that was approved. So we got 5 metered stalls. You don't have to make a motion or anything on the metered areas, just because that's parking division. That's going to be really their call where they want to have them. And then 30-minute loading would just be right here in the west end, north side of the street.
Dave, what is the width of the street right there?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that when it was built, it was more or less built very narrow to this end and Pine Street were 2 streets that were constructed narrow on purpose or intentionally to more or less accommodate pedestrians, wider sidewalks, to accommodate access to the city deck. So I'm going to guess it's probably 24. And that's a pretty narrow street. You know, that really accommodates really 2 lanes of traffic, and that's just going to be face of curb to face of curb, and that would not include where these meter stalls. Obviously, that goes right up to the back of the right of way.
So is your 24-foot dimension up at the intersection or back to the left on the?
24 would be face to face about right here at the
Because it looks
lowest
like it gets
portion.
wider as you go to the left.
Right, yeah. Well, that's why I mean this is the bump out area right here, so this is actually more of like a. Oh, actually no. I think this would actually probably would be narrower because this is probably just going to accommodate the 2 lanes of traffic. So you're probably looking at maybe that would probably be about the 20 feet, and then this is going to be probably an additional 6 to 8. But this is how they decided to have the parking constructed. And then in this area then here would really, it would be wide enough to have, traffic lane, which really this is just a dead end right here, but it still does accommodate them to be set outside of traffic right there. And if someone really does need to turn around, all they would do is come to this and they would basically back up into this driveway and make a wide turn. So that's really about it, just really looking for the 30-minute zone. I mean, the no parking on the side of the street on the south side, that's already there. It's been in place like that since the construction of this street. And really, I think at this point in time on the ordinance book, it's really no parking on the side of the street both sides. Because at the time when this was built, if you recall, that used to be a surface lot. It was a temporary surface lot. And then obviously when they built the apartments, then that all had come down. But at that time, we had gone through and established that as no parking on both sides. So,
I'll make a motion
Motion been made.
to accept the
Second.
modifications stated in item 7.
I'll second it.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 9, request by Alderman Scannell to change the 1-hour parking 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. school days zone on the north side of St. Clair Street to 2 hours, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. school days.
I'll bring up for this item. Oh, just in time.
Well,
Oh.
we can go now.
You must have heard your item.
Stop talking about it.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. are on number 9, Randy. This is the St. Clair parking item.
You guys did move fast.
The other one,
Quick
Tom.
moving tonight.
Good. Alderman Dwayne.
Good, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is St. Clair, just to give you some reference. Here's Main Street, East River, paralleling Baird Street, running north-south here. So St. Clair is really just a 2-block street. It's a relatively narrow street compared to the others that parallel it. It is close, as you can tell here, to our East High School. And the time-limited zone, the 1-hour time-limited zone, which is 7 to 4 school days, that exists on the north side is there because of the proximity to the school. Now, the requester is asking for really just that, for that time limit to be relaxed slightly to change it to a 2-hour zone. So, in my opinion, I really don't have any concerns with the request. They could potentially attract some students that maybe have like a shorter day or something like that to maybe park there, but you know, that's really, I guess, up to the residents if that's, you know, the risk they want to take. It's no guarantee. It might go unnoticed and they just get more time to park. So we really don't have any concerns with it. So if it gets approved, that's great. I don't know, Randy.
Yes, the constituent told me that they really need just a little, an hour. He's got a son that comes visit and so on, an hour really, a 2-hour time they think would be, keep the street from filling up from, I mean, if they're on a half-day schedule, that's longer than 2 hours. So the likelihood that we're gonna end up with a lot of high schoolers there is pretty nil, even if we jump to 2. And it allows people visiting, a little more of a window.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Motion been made, and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We convince them.
How about 2 hours, 2 minutes?
10, request by Alderman, let's say your name right here, hopefully Scannell or Scannell?
Scannell?
Scannell, okay. On behalf of Second Wind Auto Gallery to modify the no parking zone on the west side of Adams Street between Crook Street and Chicago Street.
Okay, I'm showing this again on the map. It's really this southwest corner property that's being redeveloped at this point in time into an auto gallery, kind of like a car museum, but it also has another function as meeting space. And so that project is underway. We've actually worked with them on a few other things such as street lights and so forth. There's, I think, one street light that we had to move with respect to this. And actually, that light pole, actually, you can see it here. Right here, this is an existing 30-foot black streetlight pole. Now, currently, there is a no parking here to corner sign that's pretty close to the intersection. I believe it is a 40-foot zone here to corner. And the requester simply came and asked to see if that sign could get removed, basically. I think it's more of an aesthetic request, to be quite frank. However, staff doesn't have any concerns with it for 2 reasons. Number one, if we do remove that, we would just say, we would make a recommendation to install it on that street light pole, which is, maybe double that distance that it currently is. And as we all know, anytime you open up intersections with no parking near corner zones, it just improves sight lines. So it can only improve safety at the intersection. And all you're really doing is shortening up the 2-hour zone that's in that area that, from when I've gone through there, really doesn't seem to be that well utilized anyways. So all you're doing is just shortening up that zone a little bit, and it's right next to his development which has ample off-site parking. So I really see no issues with the request. So
Move
make a
approval, Mr.
recommendation
Chairman.
for it.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. I think we're at the end of the list here, so.
Move to adjourn.
Adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn,
Motion
section.
to adjourn, made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, we're adjourned.
Aren't you afraid of getting a ticket going so fast?
I know, I looked at that today, I'm going, we're gonna be here till
I
at
should
least
switch
6:30.
You get your meeting.
I got to go to a meeting, another meeting.
You got a call or you got?
Yeah.
Wow, that is a record.
Zing.
Yeah.